Well, hello and welcome to Blank Pages, the podcast, a podcast for people who appreciate the new beginnings of a clean slate, but strive for the courage, willingness, curiosity, and creativity available only on the blank pages of new possibilities. It's the potential to move beyond and forward, where people are willing to make new decisions from fresh perspectives and are ready to write in a much better way. The world is waiting, and nothing listens better than a blank piece of paper. So hello there, and welcome to episode number, 27? Yes, episode 27. And I'm excited to continue. I think what I'm going to do is, what I'm going to do is go and continue on with discipline. And I'm so excited about it. So, yay, I'm excited to talk about discipline. And says not many people often, if ever. So, but yeah, I'm going to talk about that. But before we do, I want to say thank you for those of you who have been listening and those who subscribe to the show. Thank you so much. And if you haven't subscribed to the show, you can do so where you listen to your favorite podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music or Spotify. And all you need to do is you can just search Blank Pages, BL space NK. Okay, that's literally that way, BL space NK, then space P space GES. Basically, get rid of the letter A, your vowel, and you will get there quick. Okay. So thank you so much if you have done that. And if you haven't, please do so. Looking forward to getting your ears, hopefully, to listen in and provide you with some useful information that'll help you in your life and your journey. So, also, there's my monthly newsletter. I want you to know that you can find that at the Instagram or on my Instagram account at Tim Pecoraro. And on that newsletter, if you go to the bio link, you click on there, you can see the newsletter. You can actually subscribe to the podcast there. You can actually purchase my first ever children's book on there, Flit Learns to Fly, which is cool. I got some cool stuff coming up with that here soon. But the newsletter, that's where I just monthly reach out, kind of recapping the month of the topics I've been on, things that are coming. And I'm also going to be doing some what's called show and tell and sharing some of my favorite things. So I'm going to be incorporating more of that into the show, things like show and tell. And so today, as an example of that, so don't forget on Instagram at Tim Pecoraro, you can find these things in my link. And you will also, if you go follow me on Instagram, you'll also this is a show and tell item right now that I'm telling you about. This is a book I'm going to recommend people read, especially if you're a gentleman like myself who has had father issues or wasn't sure about the father. Maybe you lost a father, didn't know who your father was. I mean, just different, whatever the reason is. It's called Will the Circle Be Unbroken by Sean of the South, Sean Dietrich. So I'm going to talk more about it on Instagram one of these days, and hopefully maybe I'll get Sean on the show. So great book. I devoured it, and it was so good, very appropriate, apropos, and it's really helping me look at my life as a person who, born in 1970, and here I am now. It really helped. It really was a great book and very anecdotal. So I will talk more about it on Instagram. Hopefully you will follow if you want to know more about it, but it's show and tell. This book right here, I would say, is one of the books that has touched my heart in the last 10 years, and it has been great. Okay. Moving on to today's topic and discipline. So remember, if you listened to last week's podcast, I talked about, discipline wants to be your reliable friend. I talk about, want to establish a routine or ritual, right? There's an important part of that. There's a rationale to be consistent with routine. It will reduce your stress and your mental friction. And then I talked about the second step would be to break tasks into small, manageable steps. And then the third thing was, focus on action and not on the feeling. Don't wait to just feel it, right? A lot of times that's what we do, is we're waiting to feel something and feel our way into doing it. And that's not really a good strategy. Feelings are good, but you got to move past your feelings. Sometimes you just got to understand that if you're waiting to feel it, you may never feel it and you may never do it then. And if it's something important, that could be a problem. So, but that's not what we're going to get into. what I want to get into is just that I want to go into more of this value of this discipline and discipline that I want you to look at it in different ways. I don't want you to look at discipline as this thing that just feels so rigid and sterile. And maybe it needs to for you. Maybe that's what you need. Maybe there are those people that need discipline to them, and whatever images it conjures up in their mind, as long as it's healthy and productive, I mean, it doesn't really matter. So in your mind, if the perfect ideal picture of discipline is a person maybe in a neatly tailored suit, very spit spot, buttoned up, everything neat and manicured, cuffs exactly right. And if that's an image of discipline, and then when you see people, the way they do their job and the way they do details, and if that's discipline, if it's a sport and the way they do their preparation and that, however that is, however you see it, and if it looks more militant than not, that's your choice. The key, though, is to find the discipline, find the advantage of discipline, find the signs of discipline, and what are your strategies to become more disciplined? And I mean, how do I embrace discipline for a better future? I mean, how do I cope with the unpredictable stuff, remain disciplined, and cope with unpredictable stuff in a noisy world? Like, how do I do that? Right? So it matters. I mean, discipline matters, right? So let me just start with embracing discipline for a better future. So living a disciplined life it could be challenging. It could seem like it's impossible to do, but it's entirely achievable. It's incredibly rewarding, right? And this is important. I'm bringing this up because I am not at all trying to put myself in the spot to say I'm Mr. Discipline, Mr. Ritual, no. This is something that in where I am in my life, I am really starting to really appreciate the importance of discipline, just so much more in all the areas of my life. And it's not because of a certain event. It's because just my eyes just being opened, and like there's so many connections happening that are so immediate. And I'll talk about one of those ways in a minute, and how it's changed my life for that purpose. But living a disciplined life might seem challenging, but it's entirely achievable, right? So imagine if you can wake up every day and you just have this simple, clear purpose, knowing exactly what steps to take to reach whatever the goal is that you want. See, that's the power of discipline. That's what I'm talking about. I just want to wake up each day with a clear purpose, knowing exactly what steps I need to take, with what's in my control, what I know works, what I know that when it works, there's no excuse because I always get back to it. One moment, I'm going to clear my throat here. So, why discipline matters, all right? So I'll just give you a quick little list of why it matters, right? So to achieve your goals with discipline, you can set and accomplish them, right? It can give you that fulfillment. Fulfillment's important. Life, if you feel unfulfilled, that means you're missing something. If you feel unfulfilled, that means there's unrealized potential that's not being used, or it's not being used where you would like to place it. And so therefore, if you're not using it where you like to place it, there can be no goals that you can set in order to accomplish, in order to be fulfilled in the thing that you would like to do in the place that you like to do it. I mean, that's a lot, right? So with discipline, you want to be able to set and accomplish meaningful goals when you have that opportunity to fulfill them and be successful. So it'll improve your health, consistent. Like, just think about it. Exercise. If I'm disciplined with my exercise, or how I eat, or how I sleep, right? My physical and mental well-being will be good. And when I'm disciplined, it reduces my stress. Why? Because if I can put myself in structured routines and effective time management, it's going to help me handle stress better. Well, let me change that. Not time management, effective self-management with the time that I'm given. Let me say that again. When I'm disciplined, discipline matters as it relates to stress, because when I have structured routines or things that I have structure in, and effective self-management with the time that is given to me, it's going to help me get things done and handle the stress that comes with it. It's going to boost my productivity when I have discipline. Focused effort will increase my efficiency because of that. When I focus on the effort, I don't get distracted by things. I become more efficient, and it's going to help me get more done in less time. It's going to build my confidence. Think about that. Discipline builds confidence. So achieving my goals and maintaining self-control, right? It's managing myself. It's going to enhance my self-esteem, which is going to build my confidence. I'm going to feel like I'm all right. I'm going to feel okay. And then it's going to strengthen my relationships, right? It's going to matter because my relationships get stronger. I'm going to be reliable and consistent when it's going to, yeah, I'll be reliable. I'll be consistent in the friendship when people are trying to work with me or do things with me. It's going to then by virtue of that taking place, by people working with me and I'm, because I'm consistent and I'm reliable and they work with me, it's going to improve that part, but it's going to build me up personally and professionally as well. It's going to improve the way I show up because I'll have the confidence, but also the confidence is going to be met and verified by people who are experiencing the same on their end. There'll be no doubt that it's happening, that it's there. All right. So I want to give you an aspect of life and just a comparison chart. And I will get this put up, this comparison chart, for you to be able to see. And I'll share it on more than likely on Instagram as well. But a comparison chart illustrating the differences between a person with a life of discipline and one without, right? So, and then remember, there's the advantage of this disciplined life. I just went over these advantages a second ago, but I'm going to really go drill into these. So here's the aspect of the life when it comes to routines. A disciplined person will do it consistently, daily habits and routines. An undisciplined will be inconsistent without routines. Okay. So then now let's move to the next thing. So when it comes to the routine area, discipline versus undisciplined, as it relates to goals, because in order for you to execute a plan or to I don't know, to see your dreams come true or to accomplish something, you need to set goals. So a disciplined person with a routine moves into goal setting with clearly defined goals and plans to achieve them. The undisciplined person will be inconsistent, no routine. They'll be vague or no goals and lack of direction. So then when it comes to their time management or using the time available to them, the disciplined person with a routine and goal setting will use that as efficient use of time. They'll be efficient with it and they'll prioritize tasks. On the opposite side of that, the undisciplined person will be inconsistent, no routine, vague, no goals, lack of direction, poor self-management, and they will procrastinate. Let's move over to a disciplined person. When it comes to stress management, well, they'll be better with stress because they're better at handling stress now. So now that they're in their routine, they're doing their thing, they're doing their day-to-day, they got the time available, now things are going to hit them. The disciplined person is going to handle the stress because they have structured activity. Undisciplined, easily overwhelmed, and they're going to be reactive to the stress. Then now you're going to get into the healthy part because now they're working, they're moving along. It's in the day-to-day, it's at their job, it's in their community, whatever it is, it's in their family. And the disciplined person's going to maintain exercise. They're going to figure out how to prioritize that to get it done. They're going to get healthy in their eating. They're going to pay attention. They're going to stop making excuses. They're going to say, what's it matter if I eat this or whatever? And then you're going to, because you're tired of being unhealthy or complaining about being sleepy or whatever it is, and your sleep habits are bad, so you're going to stop with the things that you can do and you get to do because a lot of us just have that first world problem of a lot of things available for us to do that distract us from our greater need, which is to sleep. And so the disciplined person will go to sleep. The undisciplined person, irregular with that, poor diet, inconsistent sleep. So now you're still back at work and productivity is expected now. So the disciplined person, because we know what they do, routine, goal setting, management, stress management, their health, and they prioritize. And now the productivity is going to be high because they're going to meet deadlines and be consistent with it. And the person who's undisciplined, with no routine, no goal setting, no management of the self and time, no stress management, health is going to be, they're not inconsistent with it. Their productivity is going to be lower and they're going to often miss their deadlines. The disciplined person, as it relates to focus, because they're producing now, because they produce, their focus becomes stronger. And they continue to build the muscle of avoiding distraction for a noisy world. But then the undisciplined person is going to be easily distracted and they're going to lack the concentration. And then the disciplined person is going to have self-control. They're going to exhibit self-control, and they're going to delay that instant gratification. And they're going to wait, and they're going to play more of the long game. And they're going to invest deeper roots. But the undisciplined person will become impulsive. They're going to seek immediate gratification, only to find that it's just fluff. It's like there's nothing in the center. And then the disciplined person, they're going to find that resilience. They're going to have a higher resilience that's there. There's going to be this greater ability to bounce back from setbacks. Why? Because they have such a history and a log of learning through becoming disciplined. They're going to have so much historical information and evidence that gives them confidence to continue to choose discipline, the reliable friend over anything else. The undisciplined person is going to have a lower resilience with struggles and setbacks. And then when it comes to the achievement, man, this is the thing about discipline, and this is why it's so important to me, because more likely to achieve long-term success. And the undisciplined person is going to struggle to achieve significant milestone. Why? Because they're undisciplined person, no discipline. They're going to be inconsistent without a routine, vague with no goals, lack of direction, poor time management. They're going to procrastinate. They're going to be easily overwhelmed, reactive to stress, irregular exercise, poor diet, inconsistent sleep. That's going to produce low productivity, often missing deadlines, easily distracted when lacking concentration. They're going to become more impulsive, seek immediate gratification, lower resilience, struggles with setbacks, and then struggle to achieve significant milestones in their life. Bam. That's undisciplined. Discipline, on the other hand, is a disciplined person will be consistent in the daily habits and routines with clearly defined goals and plans to achieve them. They'll be efficient in how they manage themselves in order to use their time given to them, prioritizing their tasks, and they'll be better equipped at handling stress through their structured activities. They're going to be able to maintain, or they're going to prioritize maintaining regular exercise, healthy diet, and their sleep habits, saying no to the things that are easily accessible to them, that are readily accessible and causing noise. They're going to be high productivity people that meet deadlines consistently with a strong focus, avoiding more and more the distractions that are tapping them on the shoulder. They're going to exhibit self-control. They're going to delay instant gratification. They're going to have a higher resilience, bounce back from setbacks quicker, more rapidly, more surely, more confidently, and they are more likely to achieve long-term success. That's disciplined person. Man. So for me, why is this important? I want to help each one of you realize there's that advantage to the disciplined life to achieve goals, improve your health, reduce stress, increase productivity, enhance your self-esteem, and improve your relationships. I mean, that's it. And so how do you know there's signs of it? Well, the signs of discipline in your life should look like this. They should look like consistency, right? You should see consistency, regularly following through with the commitments in your routines. So these are the signs, right? So I'm telling you what to do and to work on, but these are signs that you're getting there. And then I'll wrap why this is so important to me right now. Consistency should be a sign of discipline in your life. Regularly following through with commitments and routines. The second one is goal achievement, that you're setting and accomplishing short-term and long-term goals. The next is healthy habits. Third, you're maintaining a balance. You're trying to find that balance of some exercise, walking, running. I don't care what it is. Being still, just be healthy. Healthier eating, adequate sleep. Fuel the machine that you live in. Fuel the machine. Fuel it. Efficient time use, right? And that's you prioritizing tasks and managing yourself with the time you have effectively. And then the fifth one that I want to share with you on signs of a disciplined life is the resilience. You'll notice you'll quickly recover from setbacks and you'll continue to move forward. These will be signs of discipline in life. Okay? But you can start that now. And the reason I'm saying that is because I may have shared a little bit here and there, but I had to rebuild my posterior chain because I'm bow-legged. I've had injuries in sports. I had several knee surgeries. And I have no cartilage in either knee, so they're arthritic. And I have watched my legs degrade over time. And and my physician doesn't want to replace them. I'm too young to do that. But said let's go down the path of hard work and rebuilding the posterior chain. And every day that is what I do. And sometimes it's too painful to do, but every single day I'm working on certain parts of my posterior chain and leg from the waist down, building the thing that needs to support me, thing that I need, thing that's functional, all of that every single day to rebuild all those large muscle groups. And now I'm into the finer soft tissue areas. But by being consistent, setting goals with it and creating a healthy habit around it, and then efficient with the time that I have available to do it, I'm noticing even when I get uncomfortable and it's painful, the resilience is there. Now I realize I have discipline in my life, but I'm also seeing the results of it. I have literally been able to build, as a person who's considered like in their, 50 and older, that I am actually making something so strong and rebuilt something that was suffering. So with my physical therapy, a little bit of, I have some gel injection I get in my knee. That's like a basic thing. And that's it. And getting into that. And now I'm able to, because of my goals that I wanted, I'm able to, like, I squat down all the way down like my little grandson's doing now. Like I can walk and play and do things with him because that's what's on my mind. I want to be able to do those things and move and function as a person who was very active as an athlete and all of these things. And it's difficult. I see people who get to run, could run, and they just don't run. And I go, man, you won't do something with that. And I just want to. So that's my drive on one area of my life and me finding to go deeper. And even that you're older. So here's the thing. I was a disciplined athlete. I did things. I worked hard to keep my body strong and I still got injured, but I wasn't disciplined in my recovery. And one of the things that this has taught me is this. I'm always very good and disciplined at building things. I'm also disciplined when I know there's an injury or something that needs to be fixed. But where I'm not really disciplined is in the long-term process of recovery and rebuilding something. And that's where I'm getting better and disciplined at. And one of the ways I'm doing that is with my body. And it's an unpredictable world. So it's noisy. And so the thing with discipline is I want you to know this, because of all the noise in the world and because of how hard it can get, you have to know in order to deal with all the noise, so that you don't lose discipline, be flexible, be ready to adjust your plans, guys. When you set a plan, adjust. Also practice mindfulness. Practice mindfulness techniques. So always stay present because things are going to get noisy, but you don't want to sacrifice discipline in the noise. So learn to stay present to reduce stress. And then technology stuff, man, manage that technology in your use of it. Manage it to your advantage by setting even boundaries necessary to prevent your own overload with this cool new thing. You remember, email was a great idea until everyone started sending for the wrong reason and using it not the way it makes sense or should be used for people to understand how to follow you or not to be overwhelmed, etc. And then simplify your life. Focus on what matters. Like for me, one of the things that fed me and gave me fuel and that gave me the energy to continue to move, to build the discipline, was focusing on what mattered. And I simplified my commitments so I didn't feel the tug of war in my heart, knowing that a lot of things matter to me, but realizing that I can't do everything right now. And so I had to really get down into scrutinizing some of the things and being okay with not making everything be number one, because everything cannot be number one. So I'm hoping that you can incorporate these strategies and you can put in a consistent effort to cultivate discipline into your life. I hope that when you're looking at the value of discipline, when you're looking at the importance of discipline, if you think discipline needs to be the thing that looks, or the image or the avatar of a person in military dress, that's great. If it's your image of an athlete lifting weights, that's great. If it's a person with books laid out everywhere with chalkboards full of notations and theorems or whatever, that's awesome. But whatever it is, don't just leave it as an image. Get it into your life. Invite discipline to be your reliable friend and continue to work at it. And if you would, share with someone. Let someone know how you're working discipline into your life, how you're making discipline your friend, and what are you doing to improve and grow in that area. And if you would also share with me, send a comment on one of the social media apps. On one of the podcast apps, platforms, or in social media at Tim Pecoraro on Instagram. But until we talk next time, I hope that you have an amazing, amazing, and prosperous week. Do all that you can. Do it well. Do it with all your heart and be present. And most importantly, every day is an opportunity to build that discipline. We'll talk soon.